Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about what kind of questions that I wish people would ask me more about IIH. So before I get too far into the video, time for the intro. Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Stewart. So 2018 was actually a pretty hard year for me, but it was also a pretty good year too. So I completed my bachelor's degree in biochemistry. But at the same time, I was also diagnosed with a rare condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. Some of you may also know this by its older name called pseudotumor cerebri. So, if you're curious to learn more about what it's like to live with this rare condition, then I encourage you to watch on. Don't forget to subscribe, and I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. This could be particularly from family and friends. Maybe you're meeting me and you find out that I have IIH. I'm just going to tell you some quick questions and reasons why I like to have these questions asked. The best thing you can do when you're trying to learn about a new situation, a new topic, or learning in general, and we were taught this in university constantly, was there's never a bad question that you can ask. There is certain questions though that, as somebody with IIH, I really don't like people asking. I'm not going to get mad if people ask. However, if you've asked them before, you can expect a very similar answer again if you were to ask that question again. A common question that I'm often asked that would be an example of this would be, how are you feeling today? Or how are you doing? Expecting me to say, oh, things are going great, I'm no longer dealing with this, but it's just not that simple, unfortunately, with this condition. It's very up and down. There's days where you're feeling good, there's days where you're feeling bad, there can be hours where you're feeling good, hours where you're feeling not so good. A good general rule of thumb with people with IIH, unless it's a very big event that you've made a promise to, and I'm very much like this because I keep my promises to attend events unless I'm really, really sick, is that if I'm there, I'm either trying to participate or I'm there because I feel like I have to be, since I felt like I've had an obligation to attend that event. So if you've asked me before, well, how are things going right now? I'm more likely to answer that in a less frustrated way. I've been dealing with IIH symptoms now for about a year and a half, is from what I've noticed, because I actually used to post on my Facebook my symptoms, and I think they started at about the same time I started experiencing the double vision. It just took until I had the MRI before they had a clear path to diagnosis. Generally, if I'm up and moving around, things are actually pretty good, especially if I'm going out. Things are pretty much my normal. More in depth the question, the more excited I get to answer the question. So for example, I love hearing, well, do you experience constant symptoms or do you experience symptoms that are more varied? And I had this question asked to me actually not that long ago. And I just love the question because I had never had anybody ask this question. For me, with the questions that I often get asked, I generally give almost a scientific answer to the questions if I can. I don't know if you guys have noticed that a little bit in the comments, but I do generally tend to answer the questions as if I was answering a professional question. They probably sound a little bit rehearsed sometimes, but when you've had similar questions over and over and over again, you start to answer the questions very similar. And with descriptive questions, I'm more likely to definitely come up with a very long answer for someone because I've never been asked the question before. Meanwhile, more of the, I guess, kind of the small talk kind of questions, I'm less likely to answer because I get them a lot, and especially if you've asked me before. So I would like to hear detailed questions that shows that you have a little bit of understanding about what's going on. But I mean, if you're just meeting me, you could ask even like, well, what is IIH? What was the process of your diagnosis? What do they have you on for treatment? And all of that. Those are very, very good questions. It helps you not only understand the condition a lot better, and ultimately spread awareness, which I'm really, really passionate about. So I'm very likely to get excited about answering those type of questions over and over again. When you start getting into more deeper things, I know that you've had more experience with somebody probably in your family that has something that's more chronic. I really don't like to hear, how are you doing? Because that's basically a right now in the moment kind of thing. And I'm just like, well, right now I'm fill in the blanks. However, it can change, right? So I think that's just the biggest thing that I want to get across with these questions is the fact that keep them detailed. Make sure that you're trying to demonstrate that you're interested in the subject. Don't be surprised too if I actually say, oh, that was a really, really good question. I'm happy to answer that. But basically, the best way that you learn about something is to ask questions. I never want anyone to assume that they know something. I never want anyone to think they understand about a situation. Honestly, the one question though that I do want you to ask me is, what can bring on a headache? I do have a separate video for this. I did this video hoping that my family would watch it so that there would be less misunderstanding when we're actually together. The best thing for me to do is to tell you what can actually bring on a headache. And I've talked at length about my headaches and kind of what brings them on. So that is definitely one question that I wish family and friends would ask more. I get it a lot from medical professionals. It's a really good question. And it's just a way to clear up any misunderstandings. The only way you're gonna know is if you ask. It just prevents conflicts and keeps us both happy. Basically where I want to go with that. If there's anything that you would like to add, don't hesitate to drop into the comments down below. As for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone!